What's up YouTube, it's your favorite Dr. Zora, and Riot has finally nerfed the Stinger, the most overpowered SMG that we've come to have a love-hate relationship with, although it's pretty much been hate at this point. What you're going to see right now is how the Stinger was prior to the patch. You can see that its accuracy is incredibly high in close and mid-range engagements. I'll show a few clips where I completely let the gun go wild and clips where I try to control the recoil, and it honestly feels incredibly easy, and I felt really confident going for close range duels especially, but even mid-range duels between 10 to 20 meters, I felt like I had pretty good odds going up against even rifles, which is essentially the big problem about the weapon. Now that we've seen how godly the Stinger was, let's take a look at how they changed it, and we'll go over when you should now pick up this weapon. But before we get into that, make sure that you've liked the video, subscribe to the channel to take your Valorant skills to the next level, and comment what you think about these Stinger changes, or I'll eat you like a titan. Alright, so going into the new patch, now let's take a look first with the price. Stinger, 1000 credits to 1100 credits. They decreased the firing rate 18 to 16. Full auto fire now reaches max spread at bullet 4 instead of bullet 6, so the spread occurs a little bit earlier. But what I noticed the most is definitely the adjusted pitch recoil curve for full auto. So what that means is that the vertical recoil has essentially gone up after the first initial spray when you're just flowing down left. And I definitely noticed this a lot. When I was trying to control the recoil, I could definitely notice the difference. So here it is with no recoil control whatsoever. You see the vertical jump is a lot more compared to previously in the clips that I just showed you guys. And now when I'm trying to control the recoil, you might not see a difference, but I can definitely feel that I gotta pull my mouse a lot further down in order to get that control. I got it a little bit better now because I practiced it a little bit, but before I was definitely jumping up a lot higher. Now definitely getting a lot more bullets up in the air, and I had to pull down a little bit more to adjust to that. So they'll definitely notice that initially the most with the vertical recoil adjustment for sure. Firing rate, putting them side by side, you'll probably hear that it's a little bit slower. Again, they decreased it from 18 per second to 16 per second. So that's definitely gone down. But overall, I think the weapon's still going to be pretty useful, especially in close range engagement, but far range engagements, not so much the case. But that's kind of what we were complaining about. So having this weapon good at close range is acceptable, but the far range, mid range, long range, double tap headshots were the big issue that I personally felt. The long range, mid range headshot taps that instantly kills you were definitely the issues that a lot of players were experiencing. So let's take a look here. Let's go over to the range here and take a look. So let's put this at 5 meters right here. And this is still gonna be super accurate. And it's again close range, it's still gonna be super accurate. Really easy to kill people that way. Let's take a look. 10 meters is still a good enough range that you can still get some pretty quick kills, but it's definitely a little bit trickier. You can see in that spray there, I didn't get it fully controlled down. I'm just bad at the game. But it is definitely like the 10 meter mark. It's still killable, but definitely feels a lot trickier. Again, that vertical recoil, I can definitely feel that a lot, and I gotta pull down the trigger a lot more. And at most, I'd say this is a stationary target, but at most I would say now at the 10 meter mark, this is probably the limit that I'm seeing here. Like at most, I might get a full-on spray with the 20 bullets and get 1 kill, but I definitely shouldn't really be able to get a second kill unless RNG is really in my favor. Alright, now going into 20 meters, this is the range that really the Stinger shouldn't really be able to kill anybody, and we'll take a look at that. Bursting with it without scoping in still seems to do a fair amount of damage, but it definitely doesn't get up to 150 very easily. If we do like a full-on spray, I got a pretty good damage there actually, so let's take a look again. Drop this down. Yeah, you still get a lot of consecutive headshots, but it feels a lot more RNG related. Like even if you have like really good spray control, it's still very tricky to get that 150 damage that you need to kill like a fully armed opponent with the Stinger. So it definitely feels a lot harder. This is a good thing that the range has been nerfed, and that's what NERFED was essentially telling us about. So in the 20 meters range, like you can still sort of get a kill here and there, but it's definitely gonna be a lot harder, and the time to kill is gonna be a lot longer because there's a lot more recoil, a lot more bullets that you're gonna have to take to shoot these enemies down. So against a rifle, they should definitely have the edge against you in this fight now. Again, it's not impossible to kill these guys, but it's definitely a lot trickier. If you guys look at the previous clips again, rewind the video, look at the before screens, you'll see that this is definitely a lot harder to control compared to previously. So this is a good change. I'd say now the Stinger is really going to be most effective at this 5 to 10 meter range. That's what it meant. It's an SMG, it's meant to do close range engagements, but the long range engagements, which is where the rifle should shine a lot more, it definitely feels a lot more trickier. Again, 20 meters still pretty killable, but definitely a lot trickier to do, or you'll have to at least use your entire mag. You just won't be able to just get like a full instant kill right off the bat unless you're just really good with the RNG, you just have 10s level aim or scream level aim. And now 30 meters, like this should pretty much be impossible now. Like it's doable, but you're definitely gonna have to burst. Like trying to do a full auto, you might be able to get like a kill, but it's gonna be a lot trickier for you to do. I'm trying to start at the body because I feel like trying to control at the head at the start is gonna be a lot harder to do. But yeah, trying to get a kill here, I got a few headshots here and there, but it's definitely gonna be a lot trickier. So those like triple dink far range 30 meter 50 meter kill snipes from stingers should pretty much be patched out and cleared now, and this is good. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with these changes. I'm pretty happy about it. Again, I think the Stinger's still gonna be in the meta. It's still $1,100 is not that much more expensive, especially on like low eco rounds. I think the Stinger light shield is still gonna be really powerful depending on what site you want to go into. For example, if you're trying to take garage, which is a pretty close quarter engagement, especially with the smoke out window, the Stinger still has a pretty good use. You can flash in and then peek. If someone's close by, you have a pretty good fight against that person with the Stinger. You're getting close, this is smoked off, so the next person is either going to be probably outside garage here or in the middle door to the left here. So this is still a fairly okay fight, but this range is pretty much the limit. Let's take a look here. 15 meters, yeah, that's a pretty long range engagement that the Stinger is not going to be super effective in. But if you do know a player is playing super darn close, then this is where the Stinger is really going to be shining. So it's going to be reading the enemy, trying to figure out, do they play to play close quarters? If so, then boom, pop them, kill them. Let's take a look here. That's still 11 meters, so still like a decent range that the Stinger can be effective in. But in these longer ranges now, the Spectre, I believe, is really going to be more impactful. It has a lot more range, it's a lot more accurate, that you can control, that you can take some of these further range duels. But the Stinger, again, if you can read the opponent, know what they're doing, it's a good option. Otherwise, if you can afford it, I'd say the Spectre is going to be a lot more useful now in these closer mid close range engagements now. Just because the accuracy is a lot worse now with the Stinger. If you look, try to see if we can get 10 meters here. Just look at the spread that we have versus the Spectre. Let's try to get the same amount. 10 meters. The vertical recoil is way higher on the Stinger now versus the Spectre. So looking at the prices, $1,100 versus $1,600. I would usually go for the Spectre now as a better gun, and this is how it should be. $1,600, it should be a better gun than the Stinger that's cheaper. So they definitely have different uses. Spectre, again, close range engagements, if you can read the enemy, it's going to be pretty useful in some of those anti-eco rounds if you can't afford much or you can't afford a Spectre. But usually now I would say Spectre is going to be the other anti-eco weapon that you want to go to. For example, if you have money to buy next round but you don't have any this round and you can afford to still buy after getting like a Spectre light shield, then this would be a more preferable buy now versus the Stinger light shield that we're doing, which is now going to be $1,500. Getting that extra $500 to get a Spectre that's more accurate, has more versatility, able to fight close range and long range, is going to be the way to go now. That's all we have for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about these Stinger changes. Does it still have a place in the game, or has it been nerfed to oblivion and we'll never see the Stinger again? I'm Dr. Zora, helping cure you from being a noob, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.